Clarity on Fire, a podcast for people who know what they don't want out of their life and career, but aren't sure what they'd rather be doing.
In a world where it's easy to exist, but hard to feel alive, we, Kristen
and Rachel,
2 certified life and career coaches, are here to help you cut through the information overload, get unstuck, and focus not just on how you can have a career you're passionate about, but how to create a whole life that feels fulfilling.
So join us here, where we serve up inspiration and down-to-earth wisdom in a way that only 2 best friends can.
We want you to experience the relief of knowing that, yes, you're allowed to want more out of your life and career.
And no, you don't have to wander through the dark anymore. Our job is to light the fire that shows you the way. Let's go.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, we're back.
We have a fun...
For another...
It's not really a surprise because we told you what it was last week, but it's
and also,
always fun to get a message from the universe.
It's not a surprise because I very specifically started doing this every other month. So we're on a regular cadence.
But that's assuming that people are paying such close attention that they know which month we're in and all that. So
Probably don't.
Okay.
Well, you know how this works. Well, maybe you don't. We get a deck. I'm still on my Enchanted Map deck because we've been getting some good readings out of that last time and the time before.
So and they're more unique than the standard tarot deck.
And there's still so many cards in this deck that we haven't gotten, which I'm hoping we'll get something new today. But I also want it to be good.
We've got some really good cards.
We've had some really cool readings lately. So
I don't want to discount those good cards from coming back if they want to.
That's true. That's true. I guess we should just get what we get.
We get what is most accurate right now, most helpful right now.
Yeah. So I've got a deck. I'm going to split it into thirds. What we've been doing, which I think is very fun, is you can either choose a card from the left, the center, or the right, or you can decide, I want the whole reading. I want the whole deck. And so we'll do a past, present, future.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either interpret it one at a time, or you can just be like, this is a journey.
And also feel free to interpret it after the fact. If you think you're going to do the whole reading, but there's one card that really stands out for you and you know on some level that was the answer, okay, go with it. Take what's relevant, leave the rest.
All right. So I'm splitting. Kristen, you got your book? Kristen's going to read our answers. Okay, so I'm going to start with the left. Okay.
Now, again, you can pose a question that you would like an answer to.
Or
so if there's something that you're feeling a little bit stuck on or a little bit I'm not sure what to do about this, or I'd like a little guidance. You can ask. Set that intention.
So you can pause and think about it if you need to.
Or you can just be like, I don't even know. Just give me some guidance and I'll figure out what it means for me.
Tell me what I need to hear. Okay. So here's past or left, depending on how you want to take this. It's number 36, the commitment card. This is going to be really funny when we're ready to talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so it's a hand in another hand. It's like, it looks like a dude hand grasping a lady hand. And there's like hearts and stars flying about.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I'm dying at this card.
I mean, I know nobody knows why we're laughing, but eventually you will.
We're laughing for multiple reasons.
I know.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is like definitely kind of a Rachel card right now.
Yeah.
Okay, there's always a little quote at the beginning, so let's read that. A true commitment is a responsibility of the heart, mind, body, and soul. This is a good time to make one. A commitment, that is. Also, if you'll recall, we just had a side chat about mind, body, and soul. So this is a great little wink back to the topic from last week.
I like when the universe tells you to go back and listen to old episodes.
You just want people listening to more of our podcast.
100%.
And you want the universe to back you up.
100%.
But that is funny. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because this is just too funny.
Okay.
Partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. The commitment card also indicates the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form. However, you must be conscious of what you're committing to. Be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Others are more willing to enter into partnerships at this time. Remember that your partnership with spirit and the highest version of your own self will engage the highest self in another.
I mean, true that.
Whoa.
True that.
Okay.
Well,
so this
right.
is about
I'm sold on this reading
commitment
so far.
and partnership.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the middle card.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen, it's this goddamn card.
Us.
This is the
That
present.
card
This is the present.
us. Okay.
But I totally understand.
Oh.
You know why this card is happening, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so the card is 26 and it's deep freeze because we have literally hardly ever done a reading and not gotten this goddamn card.
It stalks us.
It stalks us. So go ahead, read it. I mean, they probably have it memorized by now, but I know why I'm getting this. Do you know why you're getting this? I think I do.
I think I do. Okay. Everything has its season. Now is the time to put activity on hold while you rest. Yep. The cold winter beckons you to slow down and put a freeze on things that are not yet ready to bloom. It's time for regeneration and hibernation. Forgo ambitious activity at this time. A pregnant pause allows ideas to gestate, projects to shift and change, and relationships to go through a dreamy state of being, not going anywhere and not needing to. This is also a time to put all your arguments on ice. Nothing beneficial will come from any of them. Self-care is the most important activity right now.
Mm-hmm.
So reflect, read a good book, or get a massage.
Mm-hmm.
Rest and dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I know that this reading is for us. I hope it's for other people too.
It's definitely for us. That's all I can say. So if you're getting something out of it, I'm glad.
Okay.
All right. You want to move on to the right and or future?
Mm-hmm.
34, Spark.
Oh, ooh,
It's a very gorgeous woman in the woods playing a violin, and there's like hearts and like fiery hearts coming out of it, which is reminiscent of the hearts from the commitment card at the beginning.
We haven't gotten this card before.
No, we've never gotten this card.
Spark.
Nor had we gotten the commitment card. I've never seen either of
I've
these.
never seen those. But always a good deep freeze right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always that.
Always that. You are a clear channel for divine creativity. There is a spark of creativity in you, and you have every reason to hope to move forward with optimism and hope. Let me get this next page. Open yourself to inspiration and allow life to show you its beauty and your part in co-creating it. This is the perfect time to give birth to an idea, start a new relationship or job, start or begin any endeavor. Any endeavor. Attraction is high as you connect with others who can co-create joyous experiences and join with you in expressing the finer aspects of life. Watching a spark turn into a flame and stoking that fire is a gratifying activity. And that's where we're going.
Okay. All right. What a reading. I feel for anyone else.
I know. I feel almost like
very selfish that this reading was my reading and your reading.
This reading is 100% applicable to both of our lives in slightly different ways. Slightly similar ways, actually. And I hope that you also feel that way, listeners. Sometimes your energy is just so strong that it directs spirit's answer.
I just got to let you know, though, if there was any shred of doubt that readings are legit, this has proven to me that there's absolutely no coincidences.
Yeah. And that this deck is
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
This deck has got some
I'm glad you decided to go with this one again because it was too perfect.
Wow. I suggest that you guys not only maybe go and read the card descriptions and look at the picture, because every time we do this, I take a picture and we post it on the site. So you can either just, if you're listening to this and, around the time it came out, you can just go to our site.
You can go to clarityonfire.com/podcast. It'll be the top post now.
One of the top posts. Or you can just go to the link in the show notes. There's always that.
Yep.
And you can take a look and read them because your eyeballs and just generally your eyeballs, that's the only thing you see with. They might see something in one of the pictures or just in the text of the description that stands out to you that didn't stand out to us.
Yeah, because the image is just as much of the answer as the words that describe it. So make sure that you do take that extra step and go look at the pictures, because that might, if you're not entirely sure how this is hitting for you right now, the picture might be clarifying.
And I also would recommend go back and listen to the last couple ones if you haven't, because it's always fun to hear sort of where we've been and how they've each built on the other one. So there was one at the end of May, and then there was one at the end of March. And those two in particular were very good.
Yeah.
And very spot on. And so I have to believe that because you're listening to us and because it's spot on for us, it's therefore meant for you too.
I mean, that's what we always hope is we're sharing things that feel relevant and top of mind for us and for maybe some of our clients. And you're all here together. I feel like we're all like attracts like. Mm-hmm. So if something's relevant for us, I hope there's something that's relevant for you too.
There has to be. And
in fact, I would love to hear it.
Of course.
Because that's always fun for me to see how sometimes the exact same reading can mean something so distinctive to one person. And it might mean something completely different, but just as spot on for you. Yeah. And that's what's so fun about it. That's why we can do these group virtual podcast readings, is because your version of why this applies is going to be unique.
I would love to hear how this one sits with you so that it's about more than just me and Kristen.
No.
And wow. I hope, you know what? I was going to say, I hope we never see deep freeze again, but you know what? It showed up and I'm like, I know exactly why this one is here today. For me,
it doesn't feel so heavy.
It doesn't. It does feel more of like
sometimes
that pregnant pause
is not good. A bad thing. Sometimes it does feel exhausting and like impatience, but sometimes it feels like a relief. Like, whoo, there's a lot going on. I just need a little bit of like breather.
I'm feeling that.
That's how it's applying for me right now. Just like too much going on. Take a breath.
I also just love, you'll see this when you look at the cards, but there's this really beautiful harmony between the first and the last card, Commitment and Spark, where there's this slight like rainbow kind of aura and this heart energy, like literal hearts in each of them. And they're very like pastels. Mm-hmm. And then there's this like wintry cold, absolutely no color card in the middle. So it really does like visually also sort of break up the theme. And I don't know, just shows you, we got this. This is on lock. We're going to take a little pause. We're going to integrate. And then we're going to move on with like fire and spark and all that great stuff.
Mm-hmm. So take one of these, take all of them, take whatever feels like it's speaking to you today. And let us know what you think.
Okay.
We love a good comment.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay, never mind. We're back. Okay, truly a week went by from the last thing you heard until now. And we were going to record a separate little episode about all of this. And then we were like, why? Let's just tack it on to this episode and then also give you an announcement about next week all at the same time. Let's just simplify and be efficient. So anyway, I feel bad because that whole episode we were like, oh, it's so funny and it's so hilarious and we're not going to talk about why. And I'm still not going to talk about why, but Kristen can talk about why.
Yeah. So I'm not going to make you wait a week. We had a whole idea of what we were going to share next week, and I was going to give you all an update on me personally.
Yeah.
So the reason that this reading was so uncanny is that the first card was commitment, and it said there may be, I think it was something like a metaphorical or literal marriage on the horizon.
Yes.
And that happened a few days after I got engaged.
Yeah.
Like literal marriage on the horizon.
Like 2 days? Not even? It was like a day and a half or something.
Yeah. So
that was why we were laughing so hard, because we'd never even seen that card before.
No. And I mean, what insanely perfect timing. So it might not mean a literal marriage for all of you, but I know that one, I was like, okay, I see you. Thank you for validating. I mean, it's not that I was like worried it was a bad decision.
No, the universe does do that sometimes. It's just like, yep. It's all mirroring back what's actually happening in your life.
It was just clear that's where my energy was, understandably.
Okay.
And the universe was like, okay, I see you. So yeah, that's my announcement. It's been a big month, not gonna lie. I started a new job and got engaged back to back. So people keep asking me things like, well, when do you think the wedding is going to be? And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm still processing all of the giant life change. I can't think about that yet. So I don't have any details on any of that. But yeah, that's my personal update. And then we have some updates that are going to be a little bit more applicable to you.
I guess. So because of how much we've both had going on this month, I will tell you more about what I'm doing next month. I'm going to be your normal person interview. We're just going to spoil it now because can I share this now? Okay, I'll just do it. Because I have a new podcast coming out.
A solo podcast.
A solo mini-series podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can't subscribe to it yet. You will be able to when my normal person interview comes out. It's called Forever Alone. The subtitle is One Introverted Millennial's Half Agonizing, Half Hopeful Journey Through Singledom. So it is a 6-part plus an epilogue mini-series that takes you through my ups and downs, my trials and tribulations, and all of the crap I had to do to get out of my own way to become a match to what I wanted. And it is revelatory for me, and I think it will be revelatory for you. It is truly one of the best things I've ever done. And I don't say that from an egotistical place. I mean, I don't care what you think of it. I think it's one of the best things that I've ever done. And I've had a really good time doing it, even though it's been hard work.
I'm excited because Rachel's been keeping all of this from me.
Yeah, I know. Haven't read any of it.
I haven't read any of it. She has not let me listen to the intro, the intro to the podcast, the music, nothing.
You've seen the website.
I've seen I've seen some of that. But I don't know a ton more than everyone else. No, I mean, I know the story because I was mostly
you were there. You're the only person referenced in every single episode.
I wasn't there in the early days, but I was there for the vast majority of your story.
You're still referenced even in the chapters where you didn't exist.
Wow.
Was my
spirit with you before we even met?
Basically. That's funny. You're the only person mentioned in every episode, I think.
Well, so I'm excited because I'm going to be listening to it when it comes out too, not before. Yeah.
That will be coming out on August 18th, which is my birthday. I'm just putting it out on my birthday because you know how I'd be feeling about birthdays.
You need to give yourself something to look forward to.
I'm so looking forward to this birthday for that reason. Because
for anyone who doesn't know,
I'm giving everyone else a freaking gift.
Yeah, you're assuming everyone knows. People don't always know that you're not a big fan of birthdays. I love birthdays.
Birthdays have always been triggering to me.
A little bit angsty about birthdays.
Well, because I don't like aging. It scares me. And I also don't like the mile marker that can happen at birthdays where it's like, what happened in this last year? Did I do anything? Existential crisis and dread and spiraling that can happen. Not feeling that way this year.
You've given yourself something to shift that. Life is shifting for you too.
So I'm very, very, very excited for you guys to hear that. We will do a whole kind of background interview episode for right before it comes out next month, just so you can hear about I don't know, the process and why I did it and all that, you would potentially with a normal person who did something creative. So anyway, that's coming.
Okay.
But for those reasons, all of these reasons.
That's 2 updates. We've got another one.
We are not doing our book club episode next week. I am sorry, but for so many reasons, in addition to what we just talked about, I am so tired right now.
We both have a little bit going on right now.
Just a little bit going on. And I read half of it and I was like, if I try to force myself to do this, it's going to be bad. And this topic doesn't deserve that.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
It was Effortless for those of you who heard us or who didn't hear us mention it previously.
It's the sequel to Essentialism, which was a really big book that we also loved. But we're going to come back and do it the next time we do a book club, which I think is in October.
Yeah. So more time to read it ahead of time if you want to. But we are actually just going to be skipping next week. So we're taking a little bit of a mini summer break. I'm actually going to be on vacation when this goes out. So it really is like a summer vacation break. Which is why we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep. It's hard. You're hardly going to notice that we're gone, nor are you really going to care, to be honest. But
if you miss us, go scroll back to any of how many episodes have we had now?
About 300.
Okay. You have 300 choices and you can just do a podcast roulette and choose any of them. And that can be
Truly.
your episode for next week.
I always think that you should do Message from the Universe podcast roulette. Like close your eyes, scroll, put your thumb down wherever you feel, whenever it just feels like moving, and then see what you got.
So that's my message for the day.
Message from truly, you could do that every day for a year at this point and pretty much get something new every time.
Well, if you really miss us next week, you can do that instead. I doubt very many of you have listened to every single episode. And if you have, wow. I mean, that's a lot of our voices in your ear.
My hat's off to you.
Hats off. Hundreds of hours. I can't even imagine listening to myself that long.
The only person who's listened to me that much is me.
And me, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you. So that's some of our updates. Some of why we were having a little freak out during the reading earlier. So if anything, that should validate that reading was on point. And I can also validate it was on point.
It was the most on the nose reading I think we've ever had.
Yeah. So, okay. Now I think we can go, right?
Yeah. So we will see you in 2 weeks.
For a new Dear Rachel.
I hope you don't miss us too badly.
We're already got.
We'll miss you.
We've got some good questions for Dear Rachel. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the questions that have been coming in, but I have. And I'm like, oh, there's one in particular that I'm like, this is the exact type of salacious that I like to dive into. So we will be back for Dear Rachel. And then shortly after that, you get to hear me talk about my new podcast.
Yay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.